Hey YouTube, welcome to my series Beyond the Hype, where I cut through the hype and clickbait of YouTube and go into in-depth of the pros and cons of Pokemon, either new Pokemon or Pokemon with new moves, to tell you whether they are worth your investment at this moment. So today we are looking at the new starter, Skeledirge. It is a ghost and fire Pokemon, so it has 5 weaknesses in dark, ghost, ground, rock, and water. So immediately the first thing I thought about was Fire Ghost Marowak, right? So why would I use this Pokemon over Marowak? And so there's two things we're going to look at right now. So the first thing we're going to look at is, as I move this down, let's just look at the moves for both. So on the left here, you have Marowak, and on the right, you have this new Pokemon. So this new Pokemon, the moves I ran with are Incinerate, Shadow Ball, and Disarming Voice. And we're going to go more in depth over those moves in a second. But compared to Marowak, Marowak either uses Fire Spin or Hex, but mostly Fire Spin is the one you use. So it's the same damage per second, but Incinerate charges much, much quicker. So you're getting to your move quicker. And then in terms of the move, I mean, you both have Shadow Ball, but using Marowak uses Shadow Bone, so 45-75, as opposed to 55-100. Again, not that much more energy to get to the Shadow Ball, and it's, again, super hard hitting move. Damage per energy is quite high. In this one, I used Disarming Voice, which is a 45 energy move for 70 damage, and this is sort of where the trade-off is, because most people just use Bone Club, which is kind of like a bait move, but it's only 40 damage for 35 energy. So having 10 more energy to get 30 more damage is quite impressive. Or like if you want to use a fire one, it has Flamethrower, which is 55 over 90, compared to either Flame Wheel, which is either 55 over 60, so terrible damage per energy, or you have to go another 25 higher to get the Fire Blast. So in terms of moves themselves, I do think that this Pokemon, even right now before a community day, has a better move set than Marowak. So the question is, how does it look in the Open Great League? And the answer when you do the initial analysis is not good. It has a 16-28 record, and just for comparison, Marowak has a 17-27 record. And this should not surprise you, right? You get lit up by the Mud Boys. Anything with ground, right, is going to do super effective against you. Charizard just resists every single one of your moves, right? Because you can only have Fairy resisted, Fire resisted. I guess you can do Ghost, but you're just going to get outpaced. Again, Sableye. So now you're going to get to the moves that do super effective against you. Sableye, Jellicent, Mandibuzz, Umbreon, all do super effective against you. Rock, Carbink, Bastion, right? So a ton of losses, and not cheap losses either, like pretty hard losses. So on paper, when you're looking in the one shield, and when I looked in the one shield, I'm like, okay, yes, it's a core breaker, big whoop. You do beat Ace and Slash in defense and Metachamp core breaker there, so that's what everyone's hyping this up about, right? And then I played it, and I went 6-2 with it. And what I'm going to tell you right now is you don't play this in the one shield. You play this in the shield advantage scenario. So either you have a shield advantage 1-0 or 2-1, and then you look much better, and you look much better than Marowak. So here we go. So let's do the 1-0 where you have 1 shield and your opponent has 0 shield. And suddenly that 16-28 record jumps to 28-16. And look at your hardest loss is only 361. So 28-16 compared to Marowak in that same position is only 25-19 with still much harder losses. And it shows even more in the 1-2 shield. So you have 2 shields, your opponent has 1. You have a 33-11 record. And Marowak will have a 24-20 record. So just comparison wise, this new Pokemon is much better. And this is kind of where I played it and had strength. So if we go to the team here, the team is Swampert, Lickitung, and Skeledirge. And again, I went 6-2 with this team, but mostly just because I recognized there's only one way to play this team. Shield advantage. Yes, it'd be great. I did core break a couple teams because I saw like Metachamp and A9, or I think I saw double. Yeah, I saw Metachamp double Fairy, right? So just like walled it. I forgot to put the second ghost typing up here. Oops. Anyways, I'll put the ghost typing up in a minute here. There we go. So it's a ghost. Yeah, so you wall Medicham counters, and then you wall steel fairies with the fire. So you're going to see there's only one way to play this. Grab shield advantage. Don't waste them on other Pokemon. Go 2v1 or 1v0 and you will have a good time. And that's what I did. So to do that, Swampert is one of the best at getting shields. It's super strong. Lickitung just decent at getting shields plus just absorbing damage. And so now if I find my battles, because I got a lot of different things open right now, let's get into the battles and see how this plays out. And you're going to see exactly what I said, right? So when you're playing this, in mind, do not use shields on anything else if you can, and just go straight shield advantage with this Pokemon. Incinerate's a decent charging fast move. This Iron Voice is a decent hitting fairy move, and Shadow Ball is a great hitting charge move, especially with stab. And this Pokemon is more, I didn't actually just go over stats. Its stats itself are not great, but is more of an attack heavy Pokemon. 119.5 attack, 110 defense, 141 stamina for an 1869 overall stat product, right? So that's the overall stat product is a little low for what we want to see in the Great League, but that is okay. When you charge decently fast and hit very hard, and you have a good advantage with shield advantage. So I'll go over a few battles, and then I'll talk about where I think its places in this meta, if any. So we'll go over that in a second here. So again, shield advantage. They have a grass in the back. That's great. So Sableye, one of the terrible Pokemon against you, but not when you're already like a full Incinerate ahead and a full shield ahead, right? Because Disarming Voice will take this out because it's super effective. As you can see, like, look at those claws though. Those claws just chunked me down to the yellow. I have to shield, obviously. You're very, very glassy. You will notice that. But I do, because the first Incinerate went through before they even came in. Disarming Voice takes this out. I will have to shield this move, but again, not great timing there that I just got the full, was that not bad timing? Get the move through. Shadow Ball 100% will KO from this range because you hit like a truck. So sweep, Skeledirge on the first one. Second one, terrible lead. Go in Lickitung Safe Swap. I didn't want to ever test this as a Safe Swap because it's one, I think you get hard punished way too many times. Like if they have a Mud Boy, or even not even Mud Boy, but a Mud Pokemon that resists the Shadow Ball here, right? I have to go Incinerate, Disarming Voice. They would get to the Scorching Sands super quick and take me out. So you would just get like destroyed. So Lickitung can chip. Now I have this here. I came in here knowing that they're kind of switch locked, so they stayed in a bit before they changed. So I was like, if I can get this out and they come in quick, I can switch lock this. And this is exactly what happened. So they come in real quick, and now they are switch locked. That being said, resisted moves, poor timing because I just got a full Incinerate through, but I didn't really know. I don't want to take a Frenzy from a Shadow Venusaur. It would probably put me way deep in the yellow there, so I'm just going to shield that. I have such an energy advantage. I thought they would like maybe shield this first one, being like, I have such an energy advantage, but they don't. But then I'm like, that still did like 35-40%. Between like just going Disarming Voice and Incinerating, I probably have a good opportunity here just to take this out. So they decide, let this go because they know they'll live it. And I shield this up because I'm like, they will take me out, and I want that Incinerate to register. And then I'm going to instant swap because I have a full health Pokemon here where I can basically just farm this down. I'm not even going to worry about throwing. I think I'm just in farm down range, and I've got to worry about the Venusaur, which has a little bit of health left. So I'm just going straight farm down. They eventually come in, but I'm already loaded with energy. So even if they get like one Vine Whip through 2 here, I still have 2 moves to take this out. And we go full Mud Shot for the win here. And again, came through basically because I had a shield advantage going into that matchup. Medicham here, this is maybe the Medicham Double Fairy. So obviously you're just going to stay in here. I believe, so I throw real quick. So this is Ice Punch. You can you can live with Ice Punch. So this is just easy to let go. And I'm going to throw here. Maybe they catch the next one. Unless that was a different battle. I'm going to throw right on the 12 because I knew that, yeah, I throw one in 12 because I knew they would CMP, but they caught it, thinking they're great, smart. And now I just did 50% damage, I have this Pokemon where it will resist every single move except for Psyshock, but you're not usually running a Psyshock if you're a non-Shadow running Powder Snow. So now they have a second fairy, and I'm already loaded with almost 2 Disarming Voices to take out this Medi. So they shield up 1, that's fine. I will shield up potential Psychic here. So I'm going to shield up the Psychic, and they throw a Psychic, so now I'm in a huge advantage here. I'm going to go with just 2 Incinerates because I know they're dry. I'm at 2 Disarming Voice, and I sweep. So I was just like, so I started like 3-0, 3-0, 4-0. I think I started 4-0, and I'm just like, crap, is this, do I have to like be like, yes, this is worth the hype? Yes and no. I think it has a very interesting play in this meta if you can use it properly like I did here. The problem is there are so many Pokemon that beat this thing. So there's 2 problems. Actually, there's 3 problems. Let me go over the 3 problems with this Pokemon. 1, running a 5-turn fast move is absolutely the worst. And you're going to see my 2 losses here that are in this video. 1 maybe a misplay, but it is because I got trapped on a 5-turn Incinerate where it was just an easy catch, or it was just easy fast move optimization from my opponent where they were able to do it. So 4-turn fast moves, 5-turn fast moves kind of suck to play with, just in terms of like how long it takes to generate the energy, and how long you're stuck in the move that it's much easier for your opponent to like move and catch and do stuff like that. The second problem, as you're going to see in this matchup, is there is a ton of meta that is Rock, Water, Ghost, Dark. What was the 5th one you were weak to? Ground. Right? There is a ton of those 5 typings in this meta. So yes, shield advantage. Unfortunately, I do not take this out and they get another move after shield. So this is a loss. Again, it's a loss because I have a 5-turn fast move. Let me stop it right here. It's a loss because if I had like a 2-turn fast move or 3-turn fast move, we would have synced up on that Hex there, and that would have taken them out. But unfortunately, they got a full Hex through and a move before the Incinerate registers. So now they get that second move off. If I had a shield here, I probably could have just went Incinerate and baited there and then gone Shadow Ball here for the win. But I don't have a shield because the Incinerate caught me caught. So that's the first problem. Second problem is top sort of meta Pokemon. Again, it's sort of just week 1, fun week. Everyone's kind of messing around. I think that when you get more meta and people are starting to push, like I've got some ELO teams coming out. My ELO teams are Gligar, Swampert, Sableye. So Medicham would be the tough one. Sandslash would also be tough. And who was the 6th Pokemon that I used? Was it Lickitung? There's another Pokemon I used, but like 4 out of those 6 meta top Pokemon would beat this. And if I went G-Fisk instead of Sandslash, it would have been 5 out of 6. Right? So that's the problem. There is a lot of meta Pokemon that will beat this, even in those shield advantage scenarios. So that is a little rough. So Incinerate the meta. What was the third thing I wanted to talk about of its flaws? I forget. Let's just watch the rest of these battles and then maybe it'll come to me. So Lickitung here, loaded with energy. Again, you just got to save shield advantage. I guess the third just thing could be like in even scenarios, it sucks, right? So if you ever get in a matchup where you, for some reason, have to use a oh yeah, they screw out here, which is unfortunate. But if you're in like an even shield scenario where you just are kind of like stuck in the back, like a 1v1 shield scenario, you're most likely in trouble. And I think the other thing maybe that is a little bit of a problem is how glassy it is, that even on Pokemon with resisted moves, like that Shadow Venusaur, you have to shield. And in fact, let me actually just run a simulation where you're against a Shadow Venusaur. Let me go shields down, Shadow Venusaur with a Frenzy Plant does 46.1 damage, resisted damage to you. So Shadow Venusaur, if they have a shield advantage, even with the Incinerates, even going Incinerate, and baiting into Disarming Voice, if they're up a shield, they will win just going Double Frenzy. And that's sort of the tricky situation with this Pokemon, that you feel like you have to shield almost anything. Even when I was going against Gligar, I knew they were not at the dig, but I still feel like I had to shield an Aerial Ace because that would do like 40% probably. And it's just like a lot of chip adds up quickly on it. So you really need two Pokemon that can grab shields and are just super bulky to absorb that damage, or a combo like Swampert and Lickitung. I think, like I said, I don't think it has some play in the open meta, because I think that if you use it properly, I think it will do very well. If I'm just thinking from like a top 20 Pokemon perspective, like you beat Defense Deoxys, Medicham, Ace Sandslash, Ninetales, Cresselia, Obstagoon, Registeel, and you're very, very close to beating Steelix. And actually close to beating G-Fist too, so it's close there. But then it's also like Lantern, Lickitung, Umbreon, Azumarill, Mandibuzz, Diggersby, Bastiodon, Carbink, Sableye, Gligar, Charizard, Jellicent, Quagsire, Pelipper, Lantern again, and Swampert are all your losses. So it's just like, isn't that 80% of the meta? So you beat like 20% of the meta and you lose to 80% of the meta. Like, that's not really a combo you want to go with. Now, if you are in a meta that has water or rock or ground or any of these weaknesses banned, this Pokemon could rise up and be a little sneaky pick here. So my thought is it worth a build right now? Honestly, depends on your dust. For the most part, I would say no. It is not worth a build right now. I did surprisingly better than I thought I would. Like, I'll be the first to admit that. I did way better than I thought I would with this Pokemon. I still don't think it's worth the investment now for Open Great League, just because, again, how much of the meta beats you. If this gets a community move in the future too, like, I'm always one for holding good IVs for later in case you get, like, this will get eventually a community. Again, that could be 2-3 years. So I know people don't want to hold on a Pokemon for 2 to 3 years. You might want to use it now. But I think its strengths will be in very limited metas where some of your weaknesses are banned. But again, like, can beat Medicham, can beat Ace Sandslash, can beat all your ice and stuff, and the moveset, the moveset for not having a community move on it right now, Incinerate, Disarming Voice, and Shadow Ball, is quite a strong moveset. I thought they would have Dig here, but they threw Aerial Ace, so maybe I don't know what happened here. I swear they should have been at Dig by now, but they just threw an Aerial Ace, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just win with a Shadow Ball. So yeah, that's my first thoughts on this. This is the first Pokemon I used. I'm going to use the other two. I feel like the other two aren't going to be as strong. And I think it's just because this moveset is superior to what the other two Pokemon have in their moveset right now, right? So as people pointed out in my other video, it is not that other Pokemon. What is this? Meow's Karada? Leafage. So I'll look at all these Pokemon, but like, whew, this Pokemon's gonna suck. I could just make this a short saying, don't use this Pokemon. Dark Grass, so think Shiftry. Double weak to Bug, Fairy, Fighting, Fire, Flying, Ice, and Poison, with a freaking fast move of Leafage, which sucks, and Night Slash, Grass Knot, Play Rough, and Energy Ball as your charge moves. So this Pokemon is gonna be terrible, and I can't imagine that its stat products suck too. Oh my god, 141 attack, 94 defense, 118 stamina, 1587. So this Pokemon is gonna suck real hard. So I will use that Pokemon, but I can't imagine is going to be any good. And the water Pokemon, the new one, let me just look at its moveset. I'm guessing that's this flying one. Fighting water, right? Because someone told me, yeah, someone in the comments said Marowak, Shiftry, Poliwrath, water fighting. Electric, fairy, flying, grass, psychic weakness. Its move sets are wing attack, nice move set. Wing attack, air lace, interesting, right? Plus liquidation or close combat nuke. That's an interesting move set. That is an interesting move set. It's non-stab though, right? That's the only drawback. You're a water and a fighting with a non-stab wing attack, air lace move set, which is where I think you're probably going to falter a bit. And again, your stat products for this Pokemon also not good. 137 attack, 90, so a glass cannon, 97 defense, 121 stamina, 1620 overall. So very, very poor stamina, 1925 overall. You get a bump because of dark typing against like, yeah, Lickitung, Diggersby, stuff that like, and yeah, Diggersby because you're half flying too. So I will go over those. I think I have enough to build. Again, I'm building, you can see the IVs here, 6, 10, 12. It was basically only cost me, it like evolved to 1400 and something. And it took me like two power-ups and a double move. So it cost me like 35,000 dust. So that's how I'm going to build these up just to test them out and save good IVs for later. So I've got to imagine that out of the 3 Pokemon, this one is probably going to be the best for the reason that I mentioned of if you get shields down, this moveset, typing movesets, and just how hard you hit and the coverage that you have is quite strong in this meta, despite its weaknesses of being weak to like 80% of the meta, being very glassy, and Incinerate being I hate 4 to 5 faster moves are very easy to play against. So that is the only drawback of this Pokemon that in this moment. So yeah, I'll try and do the other ones. I also have some YOLO teams coming. I have a Gligar team that I dominated with, and I have a Greedent team that I dominated with. So stay tuned for those, mixed in with Beyond the Hype videos of these starters before we turn over into the new season on Friday. So that is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.